everybody. My name is Danny, and this is my vlog. Today is Monday, May 8th, 2017. It's 11:27 a.m. here. I'm just going to time this just to make sure I know how long this is going to be. Okay, so for those who don't know, I do these occasional vlogs where I just talk about whatever's on my mind. It could be anything really, things that are going on in my life, things that I'm up to, things that I'm getting involved in, things I've done, and so forth. So my audience, just to let you know, I'm sort of just being really open to everybody. I think that if I can broaden my audience to various demographics and various categories rather than just being too narrow into one, I can keep things more interesting and avoid dullness and boredom. And it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe as if someone has maybe a podcast or some sort of radio show or a TV show, a talk show. I mean, you have to keep things interesting, meaning you have to be able to pick subjects that people are interested in various categories, various demographics. You can't really just always be talking about the same topic with the same narrow audience. So that's kind of what I've been doing. For those who watched my vlogs before, a little bit of improvement. I got sort of, I used to just do these vlogs like in my room, not always the greatest place, so a little change in environment. I got kind of like I just purchased a new tripod that makes a big difference. So it's not like I just have to just hold the camera in my hand the whole time, which is very tiring. Yeah, so I guess all these little things make a difference, and if you just go to the store and buy things like a tripod or whatever, it really makes a difference. So yeah, I recently made some purchases. I was going to do kind of like a one of those unboxing videos, but I guess I just didn't feel like an unboxing video was just needed. But I recently bought this globe here. Now, for the longest time, I've wanted to buy a globe. When I was a teenager, like for my birthday, someone actually bought me a globe. I guess I took it for granted back then, and it was a globe that was similar like this, but it was quite a long time ago, and the globe was okay, but this part right here was all plastic, and it soon broke. Like all this plastic stuff just broke, and so having a globe is useless if these mechanisms are broken, because it's basically just a ball that just rolls around everywhere. So for some reason I just didn't bother. I know that in 2017 a lot of people like to just go on like Google Maps or the internet for like a digital map. I don't find that's good enough for me because I just can't picture things well enough. Or some people, if they want to go as far as buying like a map, like a paper map, they'll buy that big like a poster sized global map where you have like kind of all of the countries, and you have to picture it, sort of just picture a poster into being some sort of a spherical globe, which a lot of the times I just have a difficult time visualizing. So I bought this one here, and this one is great. Um, so I actually, I kind of like, I kind of hate shopping, so I wasn't very motivated to go and buy a globe because I really hate shopping, but I just kind of felt I needed to. So there were quite a few globes there, and so after narrowing it down, I actually narrowed it down to two. And being the kind of greedy person that I am, I kind of really felt that I had to actually buy two globes. So this is one of them, and I'll tell you about the other one that I bought later. So um, this one here is just a traditional globe, and I like it because it's just very smart. Because everything here is just um, properly labeled. You can see everything well. The detail is perfect. Nothing too fancy that makes things just too difficult. Very easy to read, very detailed, and colors are good to denote all of the different areas and stuff like that. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this one. And the thing about it is that never having really bought a globe before, I found out that they're quite expensive. Yeah, so even though this one here is just so amazing, I just found it rather expensive. Um, the other globe that I bought, um, I think I'm going to save showing you guys that now because it's actually um, it's a globe that kind of like um, there's a lighting aspect to it, and so like especially in the dark, you can plug it in and it sort of lights up, and so kind of like lights up from the inside out, and it's pretty amazing to look at, especially in the dark with that light. Um, the lighting globe was expensive also, and it was a little more expensive than it was a little the lighting one was a little more expensive than this one. So there's positives and negatives to both. I like the problem. I like the lighted globe because or just so that I forget, I'm not showing it to you now because I just find the room that I'm in right now is just too light, and so I'd really like to show off the how it sort of glows, how the light glows, and that can only be properly shown in a dark environment. So because it's too light in here, it's just not worth sort of showing right now. But the problem with the other one is that it's much darker. The one that lights up, it's a much darker globe. So it's kind of hard to see a lot of the detail, and some of the stuff that's on this one, all that detail is not on the other one. And it's much harder to see, although the other one, because it's darker, it's kind of like a dark blue. It denotes the blues sort of denote all of the waters. And so this one here does not really have that. But yeah, it says that with the other one, it says that it's in LED, which is in the instruction manual, the LED is irreplaceable. So that may be a downfall because I'm not an expert on LED, but I guess what that means is that when the LED runs, just burns out, it can't be replaced. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, so this globe is pretty neat. Yeah, it just pretty much has everything. So, when I'm watching the news or listening to the radio and people are talking about different parts of the world, different countries, different geographical regions, I can just come over to my globe and just look it up. Just kind of neat that way. Just so that you know, I'm located in Canada. So I'm here in Canada, and I'm here in Eastern Canada. So it's kind of like the most eastern part of Canada. So let me see if I can show you guys a little better here. So if you can picture like here, I'll get this a little closer. So, if you can kind of picture, let me see, where we have, I'm just not so used to this globe yet, as you can see, unfortunately. Well, I might have to tip it over a little bit. So, if you can see, right here, I am around right here. Yeah. So this is, I'm in Newfoundland, which is the most the most eastern part of Canada, right? So for those who, let me see here. Let me see if I can get a better view of this. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm in Newfoundland, which is the easternmost part of Canada. Which is here, right here, where my finger is pointing. So if you can contrast it, for example, this is in Canada, this is Ontario, which is kind of like central Canada, and then down here is Western Canada, like British Columbia, Vancouver. And for you Americans, this would be, if this is Newfoundland, this is Toronto, and then this is New York, and then this is, say, Montana, and then California, and then Omaha, and then Florida, Vegas and Texas and Mexico. Yeah. So, pretty interesting. So, I hope that you can sort of find your place on my globe, and hopefully we're not too far apart. But even if we are far apart, that's okay too. Like I said before, I just find if I have I really like vlogs because if I compare it to other different forms of mediums of this sort, rather than just, writing posts or pictures or whatever, I just find vlogs are just one of my favorite ways of sort of communicating with people. And so, it's something actually that I'm sort of a little new to. And when you're new to anything, practice makes perfect. So I'm still in a learning process. And so although these vlogs are definitely not perfect because I'm kind of a little new to them, just bear with me because I'm still learning, but over time I'm going to get better and better at it. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is soccer, because I think that I have a lot of soccer followers, because for people that know, I'm really into soccer. So I've always been into soccer pretty much all of my life, and even though I've played so many different sports and sort of gotten good at a lot of different sports, I sort of kind of feel that soccer is still one of my favorite sports. It's one of, yeah. So, I do, as a lot of you know, I organize pickup soccer. And so our pickup soccer season for the indoor ended not too long ago, around April. I didn't organize, I kind of stopped right around the beginning of exam time. I used to, in the past, organize indoor pickups during exam time. The problem with that is that I found that a lot of people just would not show up, and because of exams, and if we don't have enough players, we can't play a game. And the works at the university, they call it the works at the university here, they have this policy where you kind of have to have 10 or more players, or else they literally won't let you play. And so they give you a lot of trouble like that. So I didn't bother. So I sort of waited a little bit, because there's usually a transition area, a transition time between, especially after exams in April, because that's considered the end of the academic year. Because that's considered the end of the academic year. So people go away, right? So they go home, and a lot of them live out of town, out of province, even out of country, right? And then you have people that have summer jobs, or they're on work terms for their program, or then you have people who graduate, and so once you graduate, you typically have to go look for a job, which encompasses moving or whatever. So there's sort of a transition period. I like to sort of just feel it out. So I waited. And also, too, there's kind of research that's done, too, that says it's really not good to play soccer on an outdoor soccer field too early, because it could permanently ruin the field for the rest of the season, permanently, if you play on it too early. So that's not a good thing. I heard that where we play, at Churchill Park, I also heard that they put chains on the nets. When I had a pot soccer pickup on Saturday, those chains were still on those nets. So I don't really understand the logic in that. It doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, yeah. So our game on Saturday went well. We had a pretty good turnout. I pretty much knew that those chains would still be there. So I brought my own nets, as many of you know. A few months ago, I purchased two brand new nets, and they're portable. And so I'll try to bring them whenever I can, or when it's needed. But on Saturday, I definitely knew that we needed them, so I brought those, and we had a good turnout. It was a good game. There was time to warm up in the beginning, and people weren't too late, and so yeah, the game was friendly, social, and competitive as well. And it was pretty nice out, because when I previously looked at the forecast, when I was posting it quite a bit of time before, the forecast was just cloudy, just said cloudy, no sun. So the fact that we got sun was great. It was just a little bit, a little chilly, but once you move around, you'll quickly warm up. And most of the people were playing with shorts and just t-shirts and sweating and stuff, so it all worked pretty well. So yeah, I'm just gonna feel out as to how I'm going to schedule the pickups for the rest of the summer, the rest of the spring and rest of the summer. Last year, it worked well, where I tended to make one in the middle of the week, like on a Wednesday, and then another one on the weekend, like Saturday or Sunday. It's just a good way to sort of divide the games up. I'm just trying to feel out if that's sort of what we need to do again. It all depends really on if people are showing up, right? So if enough people go to one, then if there's enough people, I can extend that to 2 weeks. If nobody comes at all for that one time, like I'm not even going to bother schedule it one a week, right? You're not even going to get that. So a lot of people just think, oh well, my group is big, you know. People sort of, my group has a reputation for that, of being a big group, but it's not always like that, right? So it's not like as if, you know, my group is always that big, right? So it depends, like every person counts. And so people really have to make an effort. They have to try their best to show up to every game, because every single player, every single number counts. And so it all makes a difference. And I assess all the numbers every game, and I pay attention to that. I don't always mention to that when I'm there, but I do. And based on all of that, that's how I schedule all of the games, right? So again, you have to show me the numbers, right? Try your best to be there. And if you're good to me, I'm good to you, right? Yeah, so next, what else is going on that I want to talk about? What about movies? No. Yeah. What about like? Well, let's talk about first TV shows. Let's work our way up. So TV shows. Yeah, I used to like watch quite a bit of TV. I don't really that much anymore, but this season I've been watching Survivor. This season, I've kind of got a little sick of it because I've been watching it so much. But this season is an exception where it's been really good. The cast is really good, which sometimes it isn't. It's kind of like an all-star returning cast, but they picked a lot of them well, and a lot of them were quite older, like Ozzy and stuff. So yeah, I think that is has been going great. Um, Netflix, there's that new controversial um, thing, 13 Reasons to Die or something like that, where there's a lot of controversy because, especially for people like teenagers who may suffer from depression, and people are saying, oh, well, like watching that type of show may push them over the edge if they already were depressed or suicidal. So it's hard to say. I don't know much about it. I've heard that it's sort of like a typical Netflix structure where it's like divided into episodes, and the episodes are grouped into seasons. And it seems like that they just renewed the second season. I just want to say that, in my opinion, I kind of think that this type of program should really, at most, be, for example, like just one movie, like one typical movie, which is of the typical standard, like 2 hour movie, or an hour and a half movie. Like, yeah, just a typical hour and a half movie or 2 hour movie, and then that's one movie and that's it. Um, for them to like extend it to different episodes or different seasons, that's just a really bad idea because of the people who may be suffering from depression or whatever. I don't know if it's a good idea to post those types of shows at all, but I feel, as I said, I just want to reiterate that it should just sort of be max one movie of an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's it. Netflix, next on would be that I've heard that Orange is the New Black, that new that they got hacked, and then the hacker threatened to release them for ransom money. They sort of didn't do anything, called their bluff, and then I think the ransomer put out one, and then it seems like he just put out the whole season. So I don't know. It's just kind of a weird thing to do, ruining it for everyone who wants to watch it. We wait so long to watch the new season. So now that that's happened, does that mean that like we're gonna have to wait a few more months until they straighten all that out? And movies. Yeah, I haven't been like to the movies in a long time. It's hard to figure out like what movies are out there. The new trying to think here. The next Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi, that's coming out in a few months. Can't think of any other movies. The summer, it's like May now, so there's definitely going to be some summer movies. I'm not too sure. Music. Yeah. Not really sure, really, about music. I really used to be in the music a lot, but I don't tend to buy music that much anymore. You really can't think of any new like albums coming out. I know that U2, which was one of my favorite bands ever, is doing a Joshua Tree tour, and they're starting that pretty soon in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And I don't think that they're even coming to the East Coast, although they went to Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada, a few years ago. But I don't know if they're even going to come to Eastern Canada for the Joshua Tree tour. Joshua Tree, one of my favorite albums. Yeah, like classics like With or Without You, and all those great types of hits. Yeah, trying to think of what else. The NHL. Hockey's one of my favorite sports because I live in Canada. So the NHL playoffs are here. We had a lot of Canadian teams in the playoffs. Some are still. Last year there were no Canadian teams in the playoffs. Yeah, so Sidney Crosby's got concussion problems again. Here in Newfoundland, there was for the AHL, they had the St. John's Ice Caps. So they lost in the playoffs, so they're out. So we're not going to have any AHL for a little while, I think. Yeah. What else is there? Volleyball for people who are I love volleyball. Volleyball is one of my favorite sports. So the AVP, the beach volleyball tournament, that league, the AVP's just started last weekend. That's great. So people who are into volleyball, their beach volleyball. What else? Well, I just have like another minute left before my camera gets to capacity, so I might as well just use up the other minute or so. Yeah, so I hope that this vlog was not too bad. I did try to make an effort to talk about as many interesting things. Those are just things that I feel interested in. Hopefully some of my audience has some of those too. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that just wrap this up, and I try not to make too many vlogs because then I'll just have nothing to talk about and people will get kind of bored and sick of my vlogs, so I don't really make very many of them. The last one was a long time ago, so the next one will be maybe a little while, I don't know. So anyways, thanks. Thanks for thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and see you later. Bye. Take care.